Daniel, this Federal Records Act is something that everyone working in the federal government knows about. We have reports that the White House was constantly repeating to the president the elements of this law. What is your reaction to this latest reporting about not just the ripping up of the documents, which is the mutilating them, which is against the law, but then taking 15 boxes, taking them illegally to Florida?
15 boxes is a lot. I think traditionally in prior presidencies, you would have presidents or their staffs remove things that they didn't quite realize were official records, and then they would have to return them. But 15 boxes seems much more like a pattern in practice than a one-off example of taking something that's not yours. I would want to know what's in those boxes before we start talking about criminal activity. But I'm much more focused on the destruction of these documents, and particularly after being warned and notified that the Presidential Records Act requires those types of documents to be preserved. And he just continued to rip them up, tear them up in an effort to destroy them and to destroy the record, which is a direct and flagrant violation of the law. And that is, I mean, the law is only to preserve those types of things. And Donald Trump did not want those preserved. It is consistent with the way that he obstructed the Mueller investigation. It is consistent with the way that he obstructed the House's impeachment investigation on Ukraine. It is consistent with just about everything that we know about him. And it really gives the lie to all those people who claim that obstruction of justice is simply a process crime. Obstruction of justice makes the wheels of justice stop because it means you cannot get to the truth. And people only destroy documents when they want to hide them. So what is he hiding is the big question.
So reporters had, seems not a lot of trouble finding several eyewitnesses to Donald Trump ripping up documents, mutilating documents, violating that federal law. It seems prosecutors with subpoena power would have an even easier time getting witnesses to say that under oath. This seems like a very clear case for the Justice Department to prosecute against Donald Trump. I think we're all sitting here with the feeling that they just won't do it. And doesn't that mean that the Federal Records Act, in effect, becomes unenforceable? How could you possibly go in and try to prosecute someone else in some other year for ripping up federal documents?
That's right, Lawrence. And that's the big question that Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice has to answer. Is that's true with the Presidential Records Act? It's true with the effort to overturn the election. If you aren't going to investigate, pursue, and prosecute that, if the evidence is there, then what message are you sending to future presidents who, at the end of their term, if they lose, want to just remain in power? And it is a difficult situation. I empathize with Merrick Garland because either way that he acts, he will be accused of being partisan and political. But at the end of the day, you have to think about the conduct and you have to focus on whether or not Donald Trump or anyone around him violated the law. And if that's the case, then you have to have the courage of your conviction to go forward and to prosecute it. And you cannot be waylaid by the peanut gallery, so to speak. So, is the destruction of these records as significant as an effort to overturn the election? No. So part of this question is, does it get wrapped up in a larger investigation? Is it a separate investigation? I don't know, but I do agree with you that there are some basic elements that you would want to uncover, including the witness testimony, including someone who could testify that I specifically told the president that he could not rip these up anymore, and he went ahead and did that, and you'd have a pretty open and shut case.
It seems if the Justice Department takes no action, they are in effect saying, oh, yes, there is someone who is above the law.
That's exactly the argument. And, Merrick Garland will get vilified from the right no matter what. If he charges Donald Trump will, and already has, started just to, get out there with his now much more muted megaphone, since he's not on Twitter, but claim that this is all a witch hunt, it's all a hoax, it's all partisan. But this is why Merrick Garland was hired. He was a judge for 20 years. He is an apolitical lawyer. He was not involved in anything related to the Trump administration. He wasn't in any other administration dating back all the way since the Clinton administration when he was in the Department of Justice. He is the right person for this job because he is apolitical. But he has to do his job, and he's going to have to take the heat if he does decide that we don't have a king in this country.